What's up, everybody? My name is Kazu, and this is the Urban Influencer Radio. For today's episode, we got a very special guest, Sydney Big Dawg Colston. He's an actor and also an executive that manages artists. He stopped by the office last week, and we had a great conversation. Before we go on with the show, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow us on our social media. Links are below. Let's start off with a new single by JMSN. This song is called So Badly. That was So Badly by JMSN. Yeah, dude, that's an amazing song. But anyway, let's move on to an interview with Sydney Colston on the Urban Influencer Radio. Yeah, Sydney Colston, welcome to the Urban Influencer. It's really nice to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So you said you started off as a DJ, but how did you even get into that in the first place?
Well, I'm a lover of music. That's the number one thing. I used to listen to Casey Kasem, American Top 40, back when I was a little kid.
Oh, nice.
And I used to record his show
Mm-hmm.
and then just play it back.
Okay.
And listen to it, every day. And then I'd make a mixtape, actually, of
wow.
the songs that I liked.
Yeah.
And just actually use that as a tape. And that's how I really started. And then in like 1991, I actually bought two 1200s.
Okay.
Which is a Technique turntables.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Newmark mixer with the 8-second sampler and the 4 channels. And that's what I used, JL Audios.
Okay.
And then I just started spinning and learned how to scratch.
Okay.
It was like a fad.
Yeah. What type of music did you spin usually?
Top 40 stuff. Basically,
40 stuff, okay.
Anything that was common, contemporary music, anything that everybody liked. Like at that time, 92.3 The Beat was a big station out here.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly hip hop and soul music, R&B, and I would listen to that station. And then after a while, it became Power 106. Power 106 became like what 92 was back in the 90s.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you spin at like I mean of course like at clubs and stuff like that, but did you also spin at radio shows too? Or?
Not at the radio shows itself, but definitely at many clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was a big promoter back in the 90s.
Okay.
So I was promoting with Harold Jackson, which was the biggest promoter at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I would produce shows and DJs. I actually had MTV and VH1 come out to one of my shows that I produced, and because I had 13 different DJs.
Okay.
And we were spinning different styles of music.
Okay.
So we brought all the communities together so they could be, it was diverse back in those days. For me,
right.
I was always about diversity.
Okay.
And giving people empowerment to do their own thing.
Okay. Yeah, because we also know that like you acted in like quite a bit of movies. But did you when you were DJing, like were you doing acting at the same time as well, or like did you have like focus on acting?
No, actually I was just a DJ.
Okay.
Acting wasn't even in my foreground. I didn't even think about acting.
Okay.
I started acting after DJing, and I like I said, I worked on a movie called Most Wanted with King Ivan Williams,
mm-hmm.
and so that's when my acting days began. I was already DJing. I had a record label at that time already, Cutthroat Records back in those days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell us a little bit about like your time of acting in the movie Heat and also like Fight Club?
All right. Well, in Fight Club, I worked with Edward Norton, Helen Bonham Carter. I played a speaker of sickle cell. So
okay.
I delivered, my lines were about sickle cell. I basically gave a speech about how sickle cell affects the black community and who it affects in the community and what the chances are of survival mm-hmm. rate and all that. And then after that, I worked on a movie called Life with Eddie Murphy.
Life, okay, yeah.
I'm in that. Fight Club, Jackie Brown, Senseless, American History X.
Oh, Jackie Brown, really?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I played Pam Greer's. I'm the one who gives Pam Greer the money at the airport.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I'm in American History X.
It's a great movie.
Another movie with Ed Norton. Actually, I did that movie first, and then I did Fight Club after American History X.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because American History X, we filmed that in 1997 or 8, I believe.
Okay.
And Fight Club was right after that.
Okay. Yeah, those are some like pretty prominent movies. Like, if you ask like some of the friends and be like, those are kind of like, I would say American History X and like Fight Club is like, even Jackie Brown, they're all like cult classics. So like,
correct.
Yeah. So if you like looking back on it like 20 years later, like, how do you see those films now? Like, I
say people should go back to doing movies like that because I see more CGI movies now,
mm-hmm.
and that's fake.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know. I like the old school movies. Like that's not even old school movies in the 90s. It's really like the 60s and 70s are probably really old school. But
yeah.
The 90s was when I grew up, and meaning filming wise, and I feel that movies should go back to those. I'm not with the CGI movies as much.
Right, yeah. Mostly like it's nowadays very like special effects like reliable and stuff.
Yeah,
so, like,
that's fake.
Yeah.
We created that look right there. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like that parallels with the music world too, where
definitely
they don't put the craftsmanship and the time and the originality and the work into the music as much as they used to back in the day?
Yes. Now it's more of a sampling, and it's
Yeah.
more of a sampling of electronic music. Like they're electronicizing, if that's the word, or making an electronic sound.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's no band involved.
Exactly.
And the band is the music.
Exactly.
You have to be in pocket, like we spoke about earlier. The band brings that in pocketness for the artist to hit the pocket.
Exactly. To make you move.
Correct. And that's really what music is, to make you move and emotion. Think about this. You'll remember every song in a breakup, in a good time,
True.
Anytime. You're going to remember the song that you were listening to the most at that period in your life. Think about it. Any bad period, any good period. Don't you remember the song? Or that song hits the radio and you're like, oh yeah, that brings me back to this sense memory. Exactly. It's called sense memory. And then it can make you feel a certain way. It can push you to energize you. It can bring you down to say, oh man, it brings you back old memories that might not be good or anything like that. But music is really the heart of the soul. That's how I feel.
Yeah. How did you transition from doing acting to DJing into managing artists now?
I got blessed actually. I shot a film that happened to win a Academy Award in 2014 called 20 Feet from Stardom. Mm-hmm. And everybody in there was musically genius. Right. Everybody. So what happened was, the lady who got me the gig was Mabel John. She's the first female signed to Motown. Mm. She's my artist from the beginning. So she introduced me to the Supremes and the Harlettes, and that's how that took off. Okay. And they wanted to work with me, and they liked me, so they said, yeah, let's go.
Okay. What are the pros and cons of doing artist management? What are some difficulties you face within the process of
Well, what I face is more or less the difficulties of them being who they are. And a lot of people, because they're older adults, mm-hmm. They don't follow the old school music like they do now. If they were 17, 18 years old, obviously they'd be a different artist, like Miley Cyrus or even Taylor Swift, who's getting hundreds of millions of dollars to do the same thing that my artist did back in the 60s. My artist didn't even get $100,000. How is that possible? That's how I feel. Yeah. And here's the music that they just sampled, and they're getting millions, and there's thousands. So that's where I'm at. And it's basically harder to push an older artist than it is to push somebody who's young and up and coming.
I see. Yeah. Are there any modern artists that you are currently into?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, you mean that's popular, or meaning
I guess contemporary? Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. To be honest with you, I've only seen him on the shows that he's won the awards. Yeah. I've heard a couple of his songs. Of course, I like "Loyalty." That's a good song. Yeah. Rihanna's in it. But I'm more into R&B. Really, the underground hip hop I was part of back in the days. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not the same as it is back in the days. Yeah. So I would rather stay away from the hardcore hip hop and go into something that's contemporary, something that they play on the radio. I can live with that. Yeah. But everybody is, artists, they can have the freedom of speech to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. So I feel that giving the artist whatever leeway that they want to do to create their own thing, let them be themselves, and if it works for them, more power to you. Mm-hmm. I just happen to like old school R&B. That's my personal preference, and I do like hip hop because I'm from the old school. My favorite artist really is Rakim. Okay. Yeah, from Eric B. and Rakim back in the day. Yeah. I grew up on him. Yeah. Even LL Cool J. At the concerts back in those days, mm-hmm. Where tickets were like $22. Yeah. I look at the ticket now; they're like $2,200. Right? Yeah. I'm like, what? Seriously, dude. Who was paying $22? Who's even paying $500? I couldn't even believe when I see a ticket for that much. Like, what? Yeah. Who? How do you do that? Exactly. I remember, honestly, my first ticket I ever bought. I think I went to see. I saw Prince. I saw Janet Jackson 4 times. Yeah. Let's see, Madonna I saw twice before I actually met her. Yeah. Let's see, and those tickets I thought was a lot. Was $20, like I said, plus ticket price, whatever. What are they? Ticket handling?
Convenience fee or something like that. Yeah.
Handling fee, right? $20. Now, I bet you if you Google or try to get a Beyonce ticket, it's $500. I guarantee you minimum.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
yeah.
who would pay that? I mean, as a kid, how do you have $500 to go see a concert?
What do you think changed that? Like, what do you think was that?
I don't even know, because that really is unrealistic for a kid.
Yeah,
you know, the parents, I'm sure, is paying.
Yeah, but to me, it's like it's insane because the art of performing is lost. Like, there's really only like a Chris Brown or like even maybe a Beyonce or people that can actually captivate you and like command the stage and perform and actually like get their art across versus just singing off of a backup track or just stuff like that where it's like you're just walking around the stage and there's no production value, there's no added anything. It's just like you and the mic.
Right,
Yeah.
which is nothing.
Yeah.
Anybody can go get a track. Here, let me play this. We go to the karaoke bar. That's the same thing, right?
Right.
And I didn't even pay the dollars.
Yeah, that's how we did it back in the day. We recorded our music at the karaoke bar.
Yeah, what are you talking
You
about?
left with a cassette tape.
Right. And the video.
Yeah, you did. Simple.
Yeah. So nowadays, like, really? I'm going to spend that kind of money? I just don't see it. And if it's going to be like that, I don't see how the record industry will survive as far as artists. They have to provide their own money. Think about this. As an artist, you have to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't perform, you're not going to make money anyway.
Yeah.
How can you make money if you're not performing?
Yeah.
What have you found has been the most effective ways to, I guess, capitalize on the market in this today's economy, and then what has changed, I guess, since when you first started to now? That's like in terms of like you're saying, capitalizing on like performing shows and things like that. Like,
well, with social media now, I wish we had this back when I was starting in the business. I think it's easier access for people to reach out to somebody and actually touch them and talk to them and say, hey, look, listen to my album or do this. And they just might hypothetically, let me just listen to it. Who cares? Off the wall, let me say, it sounds great. Now they're able to be in contact.
Yeah.
And now you just cut out the agents and the middleman and the gatekeepers, as we would say.
Yeah.
And so it has made it where if you do your social media right, you can get to the people because they're going to actually see you and basically having your following. As far as monetary, it's very hard. The amount of views versus likes and all that, I don't even know how that really works. Because let me tell you this, I starred on a television show. I have only like 30-something thousand followers on Instagram, right? How does somebody who's never worked on television have more views than somebody like myself who's been on television and film, been around the country doing this TV game? How does somebody from Instagram, just by them posting pictures, get paid $100,000 to make one post?
crazy.
I don't know how that works because I would like to capitalize on my time and do that. I would post all day long if they paid me $100. I mean, think about it. Hey, no problem. Shoot all day. How many can I do in 1 hour?
Yeah.
60? I'm good. I'm good for the year. I just work 1 hour.
Yeah.
Right? I'm good for, in fact, 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you feel about the like streaming services, and especially like how do you think it's affecting like your artists right now?
I think because people can get it for free, it doesn't help the artist at all. Straight up. How can the artist get paid if you're getting it for free? And that's what I think the internet actually helped kill businesses. People who actually do the job. Because not only that, I think people feel that they can do it in a cheaply fashion and provide the same quality. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So even like now, artists necessarily don't want to invest in their craft or don't think they have to. But it's like, what do you think at the end of the day a label's doing? They're just fronting you alone.
Yeah, they just that's it. That's all it is. Everybody thinks that they get rich if they get a record deal.
Yeah.
No, the record label gives you an advance if you're good.
Exactly.
If you're good, they'll give you an advance. Here's $10,000, go do a production. Here's $100,000, go do a production. Whatever that number is, but that's an advance. So you owe that recoupables. Number one, recoupables before you make 1 penny. They got to get all that back.
Exactly, and then so.
Right. So now here's your 1% that you're going to get off that 97 cents that you just got sold that single for. So here's your 1 cent off that 97 cents that they sold that for. Here's your 1 cent.
No control over your music.
Right. Right.
Yeah. How do you feel about the resurgence of vinyl, especially like for you, like coming from like the age where you used crates of vinyls to DJ and stuff?
If it wasn't for the taking up of space, it's excellent because the quality of sound is just superior to pretty much anything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the quality.
Yeah, I feel like the way artists are capitalizing right now is through like, you know, tour and merch and like, the physicals and
that's
stuff.
The only real way to make any money is touring. That's why I was telling Marv is, hey, let's do a tour, because that's the only real way you can make money.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got merchandise, you have your product, you can even bring your albums there, sell them there, because that's where it's going to sell.
Exactly.
Because most people are going to downloads anyway. So if you're not downloading, let's say you have a QR code or you have a link that it takes the person to that direct buy, you're still not going to make any real money.
True. Yeah.
Touring, here's my ticket, $300. Come see me. I just made at least $250. Yeah, maybe I spent 50 of that $300 to concessions, to the people who I need to put this together.
Yeah.
But I'm going to recoup the $250 and make money. That's how artists make money.
Yeah. Do you have any big plans this year for your current artist right now? Or?
Yes, to do a tour.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, they're going. One group is going to the Netherlands on the 8th.
Oh, tight. Okay.
So they'll be performing out there. They're probably to a stadium.
Okay.
I find for my artists overseas, they do well. Here in the United States, they're not Justin Bieber now. They're not Selena Gomez, or is that her name?
Selena Gomez, yeah.
They're not them.
Yeah.
But they were them 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Different market.
50.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
For real.
50 years ago.
50. For sure, 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just celebrated the 60-year of Supremes.
Okay. Why do you feel like they work a lot better overseas compared to like here?
Because they don't give them the respect here.
Mm.
They're not a Selena Gomez. Like, how many Justin Biebers are there?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
How many Ushers, Jay-Z's are there?
A lot. Yeah.
On YouTube, on anything, you have your own vehicle to do whatever you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that good, you can get it done.
Yeah.
Because here's your opportunity. Like, you're taking yours. You got this right here, right?
Yeah.
So you're making a change because it's by saying, I can do this myself too.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't thinking like that. They're like, oh, I'm going to go to regular work every day. Yeah, my life is... Hey, yeah, it might be great where they're structured to do A, B, C, and D is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay? As an artist, you're saying, my work, I believe in my work, to do the best and get paid for the work that I do.
Sure. Yeah.
At the best I can do.
Yeah.
You're gearing everything on your own self, not what somebody else can give you or say to you or make you do.
Yeah.
Now you have your own vehicle to do it.
Yeah.
Before they didn't have that. Now with internet, everybody can do their own thing and just promote. And if you get the right amount of people, you'll get paid.
You got it. Yeah.
It's basically being persistent. You don't have to be good. Just be persistent.
Have the right people manufacture your product. You just
That's
perform it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Come on, look at these guys on Viceland, right?
Yeah.
I know they have a big market now. They started with nothing. They had to have an idea. Hey, I think we can do this. Let's do it.
I think that's what changed it, because the market, like with that, the market was so genuine. It was just everyday stuff and things people are really curious about or don't know about or want to know more about. And that's how I feel like it's kind of like the music industry. Like back then, it was like you're saying, we're winning more problems. Like they were making a lot, but the craft and the artistry was like way better than making like you're Justin Bieber making 180 million, but like you don't have control of your music. You don't write your, like, you know what I'm saying? There's
Right.
a whole different thing where he's just like performing.
He's manufactured.
Yeah, versus being like having true soul and like talent and like
right, real talent.
Yeah, and like breaking through in different ways instead of just like, oh, it's a good looking person that this and that. And, you know, it's like it's just I don't know. It feels it's different. It's just different.
Like you know who? What's that song that guy's Galil? Is his name Galil?
Khalid.
Yeah.
Khalid.
Yeah.
See, he's got a good song. Basically, you get into the market, right publicity, takes off. There's so many good songs though. How many people from here to the East Coast?
Yeah.
Well, it changed when MTV
let's see, in the United States, there's got to be what? 350 million people?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's got to be, at 350 million people, at least 100 million of these people are trying to make music.
But
True.
before MTV
ridiculous,
videos,
right?
you didn't have to be pretty.
But what stipulates that this is going to be the next hit on the radio, where those 350 million people that made music, how come this song gets played?
I think now it's more of a viral thing too. Like if you have
Everything's about viral.
Yeah, if you have a viral clip or it's a short something and you have a song in there, this or that, or a dance move or something, it's like you're more likely. And I feel like that's the problem too. Everybody's trying to get viral quickly instead of working the record and doing it the right way. You have it's just not going to happen.
It's hard work, period. I'm going to tell you like this. I work 24 hours a day. Literally. Probably 23 to be honest with you. Probably about 23 hours a day. It is the most brutal business there is the music business.
Yeah.
The most ruthless business, the most brutal business.
Yep.
The most I don't give a fuck business.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hardcore. And if you can't handle it, it's not cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's not just a job or anything. Like
Right.
you said, it's all day. Every
Right,
day.
think about it. If you're making music, you don't say, well, you know, today, shit, I'm not going to make music. I've never seen anybody say that really makes music. I don't, unless they retired and I don't know. Everybody creates. I'm an editor, right? I'm a videographer too. I'm usually editing all the time, right? All the time. On shit that I don't even want to edit. It's just, I'm being real.
It's work.
It's like, oh man, but then I sit there and I look at it and it's like, man, but you're creating.
Exactly.
You're creating a vision of something. With music, you're creating people's feelings.
Exactly.
This guy right here, Logan Paul, that guy gets $150,000 to post
Yep.
on Instagram.
That guy is so rich and so popular.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Not acting. It wasn't. He said, "Hey, cut, take, back to work." No. Hey, they did 150,000. What justified him getting 150,000? Who is the guy?
Yeah. He's just a vlogger. He got really popular somehow.
Right.
And,
How?
yeah. But just
What is his main claim to fame about vlogging? What is the one that made him that? What took him to the next level of, hey, you? Because why can't you make that?
Exactly. Yeah. There must be something about him that people are just attracted to. Or maybe, like you said, right people that he has. Like he has celebrities in his videos. Like he just vlogs, just walk around. Hey, we're at a mall right now, and we're about to buy this, and we're going to cook up some ice cream.
I think it's personality too, because like Cardi B wouldn't be who she is without her person. Like that's what makes her her. It's her personality, even though she can't. She doesn't write her lyrics, and she doesn't do this or that.
Did you see her perform at the Grammys this week?
Yeah, and I don't know. It was just like her. It was just.
Because she was on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah,
Did you guys watch that?
She was a reality star.
And she was just beginning her music, and she's just as loud as obnoxious, and there's nothing different about her. So that's her authentic side.
People love that.
But on Love and Hip Hop, she was trying to get her music going, and she obviously did. She's performing with Bruno Mars at the Grammys.
Right, they got a hit song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, they do have a hit song. Even
She had a hit song, her song, Cardi B, whatever that made Money Moves.
Bodak Yellow.
Bodak Yellow.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, shit, I know Money Moves.
Bodak Yellow.
You see, I don't listen to her, so I just was like, damn, that's amazing how she made that kind of shit and won.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how come? I'll tell you what. I could show you a girl. Her name is Toni Monroe, and I'm speaking on this because I was gonna manage her, and she is tight. When I tell you tight, she's a lyricist for real, writer, all that shit. Dub C even did a track with her.
Awesome.
Lady Rage did a track with her. We got a track from George Michael. We did with her. She's better than Cardi B. How come she's not where Cardi B is? Nicki Minaj. She's like Nicki Minaj, but she's actually Jewish. So when people look at her, they thought she was Mexican, but she's not. She's Jewish.
You're Jewish Nicki Minaj.
I'll even show you.
That's
She
going
is-
in the show.
Jewish Nicki Minaj.
She is, the Jewish Nicki Minaj.
Jewish Nicki Minaj.
She is definitely one of the best female rappers that I've actually witnessed live. This is her. Let's see.
Oh wow.
That's her.
Yeah.
Okay. But she got skills. Google her after I go. You can watch her videos on YouTube. You can look up the one with Dub C.
Yeah.
And you'll see how tight she is.
Yeah.
But that's just to say, anybody, if they get a following, they can do anything. Pretty much. You just got to bring the people.
True. Before
What makes them want to watch and listen to you?
Right, yeah. It's like you gotta have that like following and people pay attention to that.
Right.
Even like you know how Cardi B, like, you know, I mean she got signed and stuff, but also even with that Cash Me Outside girl, like like she signed at Atlantic or something like that, right? Like, yeah, which is like ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know that she makes music, but she got signed because she's popular.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. They're using the popularity to feel like they're going to make a deal because you got people to watch and listen. So that's half the battle right there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
If
audience.
if you already have that, it's easy for me to, hey, let me just put this little piece in there. We combine that together, man, we'll explode you.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's
They
it.
didn't have to do any work.
Exactly. Well, that's part of the problem. Like we were talking about, they don't want to put in the work. Even the labels, it's like we want you to have X amount of followers,
Exactly.
this and that, this type of influence, and it's like, okay, well, how do you expect people to get that? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Sit on
Money.
all day long. Do this all day long.
Yeah.
Because I manage social media influencers, and they actually can get you. I mean, numbers that it's unbelievable. I sit there and I watch it. I'm like, wow, how did you do that? And because of the people that they're in, it's like a networking thing type of thing. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And once people start following, boom, boom, boom. If Kim Kardashian said, I want to shout you out in your radio show, tomorrow you probably be that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. That's just how it works.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. Before I wrap up this podcast, I was wondering, like, especially for somebody who's been experienced in like music industry, what would be like an advice you give to like somebody who wants to get into the business?
Don't.
I personally
Good one.
would say it's really a hard business. I would say if you can't take rejection, if you don't really love it, if you don't live it, don't do it. It's hard. I would personally say do it if you really love it, because it's a very hard business. You got to really love it and be able to have thick skin and keep being perseverance or being persistent, I should say, at doing it. You got to be persistent and just keep believing in yourself. Never give up. Once you start it, never give up.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get to the next point if you stop.
Yeah.
You could be right around the corner, meet this person, and change your whole life. Because you were prepared. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Preparation. They have a thing called luck. And I don't say luck. I call it preparation meets opportunity. You have to be prepared. If you're not prepared, and John Doe walks around the corner and says, hey, I'll give you $10 million if you have an album right now. I just need this album done. And you might already say, hey, I already recorded an album. I got an album for you. Here you go. He might not buy that deal, But he might say, man, they were prepared. I know we can go get this done. They're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. It just happened to me this week, actually, to be honest with you. I was working with Tupac's writer.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a bunch of tracks with Tupac. And he asked me to do a one sheet because somebody didn't do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a deadline to make. I did the one sheet within 2 hours. This other person, it took them 2 weeks not to even finish it. I did it in 2 hours. And he was like, not even impressed about that I did the work. He was just impressed that it was done so fast, and he didn't think it was going to be done like that.
Yeah.
He thought we were going to wait the weekend, all of that. And now he wants to give me access to everything that he does just because I took the initiative to say, let me get this done before he can even ask me again and say, hey, look, I already did that. And he's like, wow, I want to work with you.
Yeah, somehow created a trust, right? Right.
Right.
There. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I say you got to build with the people that you work with. Because it is a small world. It is a small community. People think it's big, but it's really small. So and everybody pretty much knows everybody. I guarantee you, I go to so many parties, by the time I get there, they already know me or I know them or we're all connected. It's 6 degrees of separation is there, happens all the time.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Especially when you're working with even a smaller group of people because they're at the top.
Exactly.
So they're only working with the same type of people that we're working with. So, right, so that's pretty much it. And it goes really fast. Really fast. Oh, weren't you there? Yeah, I saw you or this and that, you know. But basically, the people believe in you to do the job, so just deliver. But be persistent, I should say, and just keep up your dream.
Yeah.
If you don't have a dream, you should be dreaming.
Yeah.
Because if you're not dreaming, you're stopping.
Yeah.
And you got to change the world and be the change. That's the biggest thing. Be the change.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Anything you want to add before we end? Or?
I don't know. I guess just like what do you use as like daily motivation, or what keeps you going every day? Like, because I mean, for you, it's probably so easy to just be like, you know, I've done a lot, I've seen a lot. Like, I think I'm ready to do something else and move on. Like, what keeps you going every day?
The people who say I can't do it.
So you just think about
That's real shit. The people who say it can't be done, I guarantee it. I work to make sure it does get done.
And to this day, you still have that.
Yeah, that's
Never
the
stop.
motivation. I think is the people who say it can't be done, because I think it can. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you believe in it, yeah. If you believe in it, and you know you can do it, yeah. Because you'd be doubting yourself.
Exactly.
Why do that? I don't want to doubt myself. I think I can do everything. Through God, I can do everything through God. I put Him first, and everything else can be done. I'm a true person. I've been in contact with major people in the world, as far as world leaders, in fact. I think of where I'm from. I'm from a little town. If I can reach out and touch these same people on a daily basis, wow, that's how I look. Like, man, I've been blessed to be around certain people in my life. And just by saying, wow, shit, man, because most people can't do that. You know, and just that, as far as the entertainment business, as far as personal, then, you know, I take everything that we're talking about as business.
Yeah.
But as far as this business, it's about just enjoying your time and just keep on pushing. And don't let anybody tell you no. I don't know. You can't stop. If you believe in the dream, you can't stop. You see the vision. You see where you're going. They might not see that.
Exactly.
It's not for them to see.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Hey, you didn't see it? Oh man, I'm seeing this right here because I can see the vision.
Exactly.
That's what David and Daniel did, right? They saw the vision.
That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who see your vision.
Yeah,
and
that's-
believe in
If they
it.
don't see your vision, then that's a red flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not
Take it from
operating
an old
with it.
chick. No, 'cause I gave so many people so many chances and just thought that maybe, but they're just negative or jealous or envious. If you see a vision and they don't, get rid of the person, not the vision.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta
Because there's
believe in
lots
it.
of people. You only have one vision. You have billions of people.
Right.
True.
True. Yeah.
So what
And
do you want to
everybody
give
has
up
an
your
opinion. That's
Yeah.
only their
Right.
opinion. Oh, you didn't like it? That's your opinion. I love it. Right. Right. Somebody say, hey, I ate this chocolate or I ate this candy. I didn't like that candy.
Yeah.
That was your opinion. Man, that candy was off the chain, man. I need more of those. I don't know what he's talking about, but hey, man, that's just good for me, right? You're not gonna say no if you don't like. If you like it, do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And find people who like it with you.
Yeah. Because they're there. They're there.
Yeah.
People believe in you.
You'll find your group, your team,
This is the other
Yeah.
thing.
your camp, whatever.
You might
it is.
not think you have people backing you, but other people want to see you successful too. So those are out there. You gotta weed through the people who are bullshitting you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you gotta just be like, okay, look, you can't do that, or you can do that. I need you to do this in my life. This is where you stand.
It's
in
like
my
starting
life.
a band. I mean, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
the
much.
hard part about show business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weeding through all the bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Show business isn't hard. Performing isn't hard. If you're a real artist, that's where you want to be, is in front of the camera, or on stage. That's where you feel most comfortable. If you're a real artist, you're like, I'm home. You know, and you get on stage, you're like, finally, I can relax. But it's true, and so that's what the hard part is of the wrong people.
Wrong people.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the best way? I guess best advice on maneuvering that as well, like finding out who's right for you and what isn't in the situation.
Right.
As
Instinct.
fast as possible.
Go with your
Because
instinct.
they'll bring you down.
But how do you manage it or deal with it? Like you just
Basically, you say, hey, this is the vision I'm on, right
Yeah.
here. Do you see the vision that we're going for? Are we aiming at the same goal? Are we even in the same ball game? What are we talking? You're talking football, I'm talking baseball.
Right.
Here we go. So, look, I'm trying to play baseball. Let's go this way. If you're trying to play football, we can do that too, but just know we're going to do this, and then we'll do that, or vice versa, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
But on this mission, this is where we're going. Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
This one. And basically stick to it. And
Instinct. Follow your instinct.
Yeah, follow your gut. I
Yeah.
would say gut.
Really, I'm not even kidding. I never thought
Follow
I'd say it.
your gut.
When I was your age, but I'm saying it. When I was your age, if I would have just listened to the little voice going, don't do it,
Yeah.
don't do it.
I would
When
say
of course
that.
I'm going, yeah, but
Right.
don't do it.
Right. If
I
you
always
think
went
it's
with
wrong,
the yeah,
it
but.
probably is.
Yeah,
Seriously.
right,
If
if
you
they're-
think it's wrong, if you have an inclination of, man, this could be fucked up.
This smells fishy.
Right.
It smells.
I would like to be like,
Huh.
I don't know if I can do this one because the consequence might be end of career.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
End of life, end of career. If I choose this one, that could be the it for me.
Yeah.
Because artists are the most sensitive.
Right.
So the end of our career could be just some negative words that someone negative
Put in
or
your mind and
that
it's
put
not
in your mind, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't touch the piano ever again because some asshole said you suck,
Right.
and then you're like, oh, and now you're all freaked out about playing the piano because this asshole said you couldn't play the piano in front of your girlfriend or something. You're like, I'm horrified. So you were embarrassed in front of someone important or whatever. I know a girl. At 15, she's 40-something now. She's an interior designer, Alex. At 15, she mastered 15 instruments.
Oh shit.
Her boyfriend, her high school boyfriend, told her she sucked. This is a true story. And she gave up music.
Wow.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she
Tell her who her
did,
boyfriend
well, it wasn't that boyfriend.
is. Right, but tell her her boyfriend is.
Well, later on, she dated, Culture Club. You hear Culture Club?
Yeah.
Roy, the keyboard player who wrote
Okay.
all the songs,
Yeah.
was my friend Alex's boyfriend, but not the high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
He didn't even know she knew how to play all these instruments till one night we were all drinking and telling each other our life stories. And she's like, oh yeah, Roy, you didn't know, but I can play 15 instruments. You can only play one. And he's like, what? And her boyfriend, her high school boyfriend said, you'll never be, you suck at music. And she gave it up because of that.
Right.
So, I mean, who plays 15 instruments by the time they're 15? She would just
Even now.
pick up anything, a guitar, and she could play a song, pick a song. That she
Yeah.
was a natural. But because someone said, so our sensitivity and our emotions and stuff, feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
You feel like, suicidal, but look, you got 10 minutes of self-pity. In my Emotional Anonymous book, it's a book where there's no year, but every day. And it says, okay, if you feel bad about something, put on the timer. You got 10 minutes to be like, why me? And then when it says 10 minutes is up, back to business.
It's a place to visit, but don't stay there too
Right.
long, right? Yeah.
Well, 10 minutes is what they say in
Yeah.
Emotional Anonymous. You only got 10 minutes to feel sorry for yourself. And they know. They know, Emotional Anonymous. They know. So 10 minutes of why me, I wish I was dead. And then you're done.
Just don't die in that 10
Then
minutes.
put on your face. Yeah. In those 10 minutes, try not to slit your throat.
That's not one of them.
Yeah. 9 more minutes. I got 1 more minute. I don't know how you do it.
Well, these are definitely a great advice that we could definitely take. But but first of all, thank you so much for being a part of this show.
You're
and,
welcome.
I think this episode is gonna help out a lot of artists. So
Okay.
In
Cool.
general, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of life lessons.
It's a life lesson. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Life parallels the industry or whatever you do. I mean,
Yeah, true that. Yeah, but we'll post this and we'll let you know
All right.
when it's up. Yeah.
Bravo, Sydney
Thank you.
Colston.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was an interview we had with Sydney. Yeah, we really had a great time talking with him. All right, now, before we end the show, we're going to close it with a song by Albert Hammond Jr. The song is Muted Beatings. All right, I'll see you guys next week on the Urban Influencer Radio. Peace.